Now, a funny personal story which I wanted to share with all of you guys. So recently, as I lost the ASRock P45X3 Deluxe motherboard I used for many of those top scores you have seen on my channel very recently, like the Q8400, Q9650, Q9550, Q8200, etc. That board, when I was running the Q8300, which I still haven't posted at the time of filming this video, I had some issues when I started running the last test, which was the Superbike 32M. There was some moisture issue definitely at the Northbridge area, and then afterwards, like incrementally, the motherboard didn't turn on anymore. So I think there's something damaged related to moisture issues. So I have to be more careful when I run these motherboards again on LN2, because you really need the Northbridge on LN2 to get the max out of Northbridge FSP wise, but more importantly to get most out of memory, because the Northbridge is actually the limiting factor when it comes to memory overclocking. But anyways, I found another motherboard, another P45X3 Deluxe from ASRock from German eBay. I purchased the motherboard for 100 euros and shipping like 125, 130 in total. Very reasonable price for a rare motherboard like this, if you ask me. But then shortly after buying that motherboard, like 1 or 2 days later, the seller very surprisingly just cancelled the entire sale. He stated that the motherboard doesn't turn on, whatever the reason was, and he just refunded me the whole sum. For like 1 week I was spamming, like sending that seller tons of messages that please send me the motherboard, I'm sure it works, but he very often didn't reply anything. But then, like after 1 or 2 weeks from the actual sale date, he told me he could sell the motherboard as complete junk, because I asked that can I buy it as like non-working motherboard, whatever, and he sold me the motherboard for 30 euros with shipping included. 30 euros, so that's pretty much like 5 euros for the board, 25 euros for shipping. It came with Q6600 CPU in the socket, which is currently underneath that water block over there, and these two memory sticks that were in the wrong slots, in the blue slots, which are not the primary ones, what you should use if you use only 2 memory sticks, what I've installed right now. So let's see if this board actually posts, because this motherboard model is very picky. Sometimes when you turn on the board, you will just see a short blink on the debug LED, nothing, no code whatsoever, the whole system shuts down, and then it turns on again, and it will do a successful post loop, usually, at least usually, if the thing works. So let's see what happens. I turn on the other power supply for the water cooling, and let's see what happens. So you can see empty debug LED, the thing turned on, but this is normal what I've experienced with this board model. Done. So you can see Q6600, no idea about the date whatsoever. BIOS is the original one, 1.00, so I definitely want to fix that one. Yeah, at least with Server 2003 it's very annoying, because if you have a different date on the same system you use to install the system, it will not turn on to the operating system, which is very annoying. I don't know if these measurements are correct, like 3.3 volt at 3.232, like part of the power supply drama I had very recently, which I made a video about regarding the Corsair AX1600i. But now I have a USB stick. Let's see how you actually flash. I actually haven't done this with this one. So how do you actually ASRock instant flash? I actually need to set up the capture card, whatever. Yep. F3. to reboot because it doesn't recognize the USB stick, whatever. But I have the latest BIOS 1.5 on the USB stick. It's the one. It's the latest one with Q8400 patch. Definitely the best one for overclocking. And I actually felt CMOS settings wrong. I really feel. I need to check what's going on, but I really feel the motherboard I used for the top scores, it had some issues like FSP limit. Not the best board for DDR3 1800 Cas5 and everything, but now we at least have the board running. Very good sign, so definitely a good deal for 30 euros. I'll try to get the BIOS flashed. I want to try how we can like try the memory, just very shortly out of interest. But this is already a very interesting story, the whole purchase procedure, if you ask me. And okay, some numbers here. Obviously the result is slow because the CPU is only at 3 GHz, 14 minutes 17,609. But look at that, DDR3 1700 564 1560 command rate 1. So this is already higher than where I compared to where I ever ran with the Northbridge on LN2. So definitely good. I might be able to squeeze even a bit more. Performance level is at 7, lowest possible, but of course many of the sub timings are relatively easy. So this is already very, very good sign. So definitely good purchase from eBay. Extremely rare motherboard, more rare than RAM-based Extreme, the special motherboard from Asus or those similar boards. So 30 euros for P45X3 Deluxe with shipping. That's definitely interesting. So hopefully you love to hear this short story. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Maybe check out my Patreon page as well if you want to support my work. And yeah, thanks for watching some of my videos once again, and I will see you on the next one.